What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to A Certain Point of View and our very last show of 2020 here on the channel. The year is almost over. It's been a crazy year, but we are looking forward to a new year. But before we get to 2021, we're gonna wrap up 2020 and what is Schmoedown tonight on the channel. Everything that happened this year in season 7, the new era, as it was called. That ended up turning into the digital era, that ended up turning into the Upset City era, and it was just a whole thing. And per usual, to do that with me is both Jill and Molly with me, but no Brian for right now.
We officially finally canceled him. He's been canceled.
You've been waiting for the entire intro to say that, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Brian is having a slight internet issue. And so he's back at home and he's dealing with that. And so he'll hopefully be joining us soon, but we'll wait to see for that. But until then, Molly, Jill, how was your guys' Christmas? How was your guys' week? It's been a week since we've been on the air together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been good. Been relaxing, which we forgot what that felt like. Still not sure if we're doing it right. But yeah, it's
how does one relax?
Yeah, I got these fancy new lights back here. I had to take all my Christmas stuff down. Except I forgot one of the snow globes.
I mean, did you have to?
I didn't have to, but I was excited to get my new lights up.
That's fair.
They're cool. They're badass.
How are your Starbursts, Jill?
Delicious. I also have a Yoda koozie. So
oh,
not baby Yoda, like actual. Look how grumpy he is. Like actual Yoda.
There you go. EM had a dream that you're on corruption.
In a trade. Specifically a trade.
Interesting.
What I want to know is what a-hole manager traded away Molly Davis. That's what I want to know.
Right? Jeez.
Asking the real questions here.
Well, speaking of free agency and stuff, we will be getting to that. It'll probably end up coming up in conversation tonight at some point. But there will be a show completely dedicated to it here in the next week or two. Maybe next week, maybe the week after that. But we will be doing a show after all the craziness does come out and happen, even though there was a lot this past week. We will definitely be getting into that. But for now, we're going to get into season 7 and just everything that was 2020 for the Schmoedown, because it was by far the craziest year that this thing has ever seen. Not just because of COVID and everything like that, but names that have come up and the way that matches were played with the tournaments and studying habits and all that type of stuff. And we're going to have a good conversation about it tonight. Let's just talk a little bit about just what you thought of it overall, reactions to it, immediate thought that kind of pops in your head when you think of 2020 Schmoedown. Jill, if you want to start us off.
When the season started off, obviously, rad. New season, new matches, new competitors, super stoked. When shutdown started happening, I honestly didn't think Schmoedown was going to happen this year. To be completely 100% honest, I was like, how are they going to do this? There's no way they can pull this off. How are we going to continue, the hype that is Schmoedown without it being in a studio or live events, or how are we going to do that? And boy, was I proven wrong. This has been some of the craziest matches we've seen, even with it being digital. We've seen some insane championship matches. We've seen some insane just 1v1 team matches. It's been quite the year, and I am so thrilled that it actually happened, because I didn't think it would have. And I loved every freaking second of it, even if it wasn't exactly the prime season that everyone wanted it to be. They fucking kicked it in the butt, and it was amazing with what they did with it. So kudos, everybody. Congratulations on a fantastic season 7. The digital era is what I'm going to call it from now on.
It should have been rebranded once the digital. I feel like even though we started off with the new era, which is a great name, because for what happened this year, Adam Collins and Marisol's, and even you, Molly, just bringing this new faces into the league, it really was the new era. That's what it felt like. But it almost feels right to save that name for something down the road, because it wasn't used to its potential. But that's neither here nor there. Molly, you have a little bit of different perspective on this, obviously, because you're a competitor and you've competed and you got your first official, like, real match that wasn't live in front of 600 plus people.
It was live.
It was.
That's true. That's true.
All my matches are live.
That's true.
That's my curse.
What is like the first thing that pops up in your head when you think of this year in Schmoedown?
Well, I can remember towards the beginning of the year, Schmoedown was nowhere on my radar. I was just like, I'm assuming Alex will play for the belt at some point this year, and I'll watch some matches. And then Christian reached out to me about the free agency thing, and I was like, maybe. But yeah, once I agreed to be a part of it and like just started watching everything digitally, I was like, my goodness, like I'm into this now, and now I'm here. Now I'm on a show with you guys, and I'm gonna kick off the next season.
Can we talk about that growth for a second? You went from like really not having much of an interest in Schmoedown to competing to being on an after show to being basically the opening match of season 8. Like, can we talk about that glow up right there? Because that's like awesome. I'm like, that's freaking great. I love that.
I love it too. And towards the beginning of the year before the shutdown and everything happened, I was taking improv classes, and I was like, this is going to help me just in general in like every aspect of my life, I think, but especially when it comes to Schmoedown stuff, I was like, ooh, yeah, okay, I'm ready to do this now.
And you are fantastic at it.
Yeah, when I think of this year, I mean, it's hard not to think of like the switching of digital and the tournament stuff like that. But it really is just like the cliche answer for me. But it really is just this, like this whole thing that has happened over the last 11 months for me. The one just putting my mind to it and really thinking of an idea, and then being able to get Brian involved, and then bringing in you, Jill, and then eventually Molly as well, and the entire View crew, and like everything that's happened over the last so many months is pretty wild. I want to think of the matches and the rivalries and stuff like that, but when I'm going to look back on 2020, it's 100% going to be this, because it is by far the craziest thing that's happened this year. I mean, we just got nominated for Podcast of the Year for the Schmoedown Awards, which never would have crossed my mind a year ago.
Crazy.
So it's a huge progression. It's a really cool year to think about things, not just in the world inside of competing and stuff, and who we've been able to talk to and stuff, but just this in general too. And with everybody commenting too, and all of you guys in the chat as well, it's pretty crazy to think about. And luckily, we're not the only ones that are going to be doing that tonight as well, because he is here. He's has
been
arrived.
uncanceled.
The internet has arrived and been fixed. That is Mr. Avalosino.
He's been uncanceled.
Oh, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
What's up, man?
I like your little baby Christmas tree.
Oh, thank you. I'm holding on by a thread at this point. I don't even know if the internet's working, if I'm just here. I don't know.
We see you and we hear you, and that's you're good. You're all
well, good. Thank goodness. So, yes, my baby Christmas tree.
Your baby Christmas tree.
Baby.
Yeah. So, although it's funny because that ornament on the top looks rather large compared to the tree. So, and
it does. So, it's a little unproportioned.
Don't ask me.
Or maybe it's just the right amount of proportion.
Touche.
Sure.
Nice.
Yes, I have very I don't like that I'm under Molly for comparing her rave lights to my Christmas tree when I'm usually the one that has the rave lights.
Yeah.
So.
I'm just trying to keep up with you, Brian.
Oh, thank you.
So Brian, you were in the background hearing us talk about, thoughts on 2020, just in general, initial reactions, kind of the first thing that comes to mind. What about you when you think back on this year in Schmoedown?
What could have been a shit show was saved. Thank God by technology. By the way, I am sitting on a little, what do you want to call it? I don't even know. No, I'm obviously, but I have an elevated dining room, so it's
You
like
look really high compared to those things behind
yes.
you.
So
Yeah.
it's like an elevated like dining room, so like the dining room and the thing, and
Oh,
like I've got like that much space from falling completely backwards.
I'm gonna wait for it. I'm waiting for it to happen.
This
now.
could be for
He's
a ride.
gonna pull a barbarian here in a second.
Like it would be full on legs. Like I'd be gone.
Just legs over the head. I love it.
Jake, I swear to God, I've never smoked a joint in my life, so I'm not high.
I didn't. No,
No, not you in the chat.
In the chat. In the chat.
But yes, no. Maybe my mood lighting. I don't know. But I am at my mom's house, so that could be a just different change of scenery. But what could have been? I mean, I remember when this went down, Jake, you and I immediately went, the year's done. Like we were like, there's no way to save it. And then they figure out a way, and it was like, whoa, this actually is kind of cool, kind of works. I'll do it if Jake does it.
Nope.
I'll throw that out there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there you go. But yeah, I mean, we went from potentially having nothing to arguably one of the most entertaining seasons.
I mean, we got 4 matches a week at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You kidding me?
we went from potential disaster to some pretty good stuff. I just kind of wish that if it was going to happen, it would have started just a little bit early so we could have saved the new era and just named it, like Jill said, the digital era. It's just so perfect.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
know.
perfect.
I know.
But I mean, if that's the worst thing to come out of it, okay.
I mean,
I'll take that.
To be fair, you can argue it was a new era because
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
we had never done this before. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
Trying a
And-
lot of
and-
new things.
Trying out new
Two of the
stuff.
4 titles were also went to the younger, newer people too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I mean, this season was a absolute wild ride, but one that I quite enjoyed. I mean, no.
If it was like on a Friday,
We'll leave the Gucci verse that one.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Brian's taking shots once again. Gucciverse, don't come after us. Come after Brian.
Am I wrong? Isn't that what Gucci verse?
We don't know
They'll
what
be
everybody does.
they'll all agree. They'll be like, I mean,
Yeah. Right?
Isn't that their thing?
Ah,
but
I
they
mean,
don't
come
do reactions though. They're not a Schmoedown show. They are
on.
Schmoedown adjacent.
In the 5 hours that they are on, they chit chat a little bit about it. So we'll give them that. But yeah, no. I mean, if I'm picking one thing though, it's just how much this that came together.
Mhm.
Like it still to this day blows my mind that it hasn't even been a year.
Crazy.
And I mean, I've never even met officially Jill or Molly in person. Let's see what else.
We didn't go after Brad, Brian. We were asked to give an impression. He didn't take it too lightly.
Yeah,
Just because
Kylie,
Brad didn't appreciate it. doesn't
That's all
mean
thanks to
that happened,
Kylie.
Brad.
That's Kylie's
Yeah,
fault. Blame
Kylie. threw that one out there. But yeah, just the fact that this literally came from like Jake and I just talking about it. Like we were just like, we should just do this every once in a while, just for fun. And then we were at the award show and we were like, yeah, this looks fun. Like we should definitely do it. And it started out cool. And then Jill came on and it was like, oh, this is really kind of fun. And then the ladies' night happened and I was like, oh, this is really fun. And then Molly comes on and it's like, okay, now we're all just gonna be best friends.
Now we're just
So,
gonna be best friends. We're never gonna
yeah.
leave each other's side. We're gonna talk to each other 24/7 about random stupid
100%.
shit all day.
Oh yeah.
And if all you watching, if you could see the group chat, the 4 5
It's literally, like I said, it's random stupid shit, and it's the best.
I'm not kidding when I say that I talk to these three in our Discord more than any people in the world, including probably my family, which is sad, but it's true.
Ryan was sending us pictures today of all of his Star Wars toys that he found.
He was. I have to show Sean. I haven't showed those to Sean yet.
Oh
I'll
my
get
God.
super stoked.
In
The
order,
Naboo Starfighter. I was like, oh,
that one,
I want it. That one. That's like my favorite.
Thank you, Stylen Moose. I saw that.
Yep.
Absolutely. Like, it's so funny to me when I think about it. Like, I'm like, God, this was the worst year ever. But like in perspective, it kind of like the best year ever.
Yeah.
For me personally, I've made so many friends this year that I've never even met, but are like feel closer to than my actual friends that I've met in person. And that includes people in the chat and Discord and stuff like that. And it's just like, I would take that in the way we're going over just like casual, whatever, normal year, any day.
Yeah.
I mean, so it blows my mind.
I'd rather be in quarantine with you guys than having had a normal year and never having had this happen. So
yeah, it's oh, thank you, Canada.
Nope. How do you say his name, Brian? We found out how you say his name.
I can't curl my tongue.
Michael.
Yeah.
Michael.
So
I can't. It's rolling your R's, Brian.
I can't do that. I
Michael.
literally cannot.
Right.
But yeah, it blows my mind. Just the amount of like fun that came from just us hanging out. Like, and behind the scenes, Molly originally said no to us.
Well, that's not how it happened.
Yeah,
Kinda.
I'm busy doing other stuff.
I mean,
I'm
she's
the
running
crazy
an
person.
empire.
That's so much nonsense.
Yeah, she's running an empire, but like
Literally running an empire.
I'm building a Grogu empire.
Damn
Awfully
right.
busy.
Oh, where's my other child? Sean, bring me my new
I did
child.
want to say that I did want to bring up this comment though, because this is actually really cool, and this actually probably has to do with a lot of people. But EM says what's interesting is that I started watching the Schmoedown during COVID, which was Molly and Adam's match.
Wow.
So the digital era is all I know, and I absolutely love it. And that could be a lot of people could just be seeing the digital era, which is a big part of this.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, I mean, Jill and I are the newer. Well, I guess Molly a little bit too, huh? Are the newer of us. Jake's been watching it since day one, but it's just. I mean, it's so fun to have and talk to people that have been watching it since day one. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to try. I don't want to offend you. That's why. It's just so fun talking to people that have just started watching it or have been watching it since day one, like Jake has. And I mean, just the best thing is just being able to have a community to talk to. And I mean, whether that's our little View Crew community or Call to Action, Cinefanatics, SEN, whatever, just anyone. It's just incredible. And I don't take it for granted one day. This is literally mentally probably saved me during COVID.
Fucking preach. Cheers to that.
So it's gonna be if anything, it's gonna be really weird when we go back to normal, because in fact the other day when I was talking to Jill and Sean, they were like, yeah, it's gonna be weird when we go back to normal. We're gonna be busy. I'm like, no,
don't be
longer
busy.
lockdown. Don't go play Dungeons and Dragons every day.
Don't have a social life ever. No.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
But yeah, no, I will never take for granted just everyone, the three of you, everyone in the chat, everyone in our Discord. It's amazing. It's so much fun, literally every day talking to everyone. So that's the best thing to come out of it for me.
This year especially, like it's pretty much changed how Schmoedown is going to work, I think, going forward. It's given so many people more opportunities to play that, aren't able to fly to Burbank and be in studio. And like, that was one of the deciding factors for me too. I was like, well, yeah, I can play from home. Sure.
No, we're like, let's talk about, and then now we're just like all reminiscing about how much we love each other. We're really gross, you guys. We're gross and sappy, but y'all have to deal with it. Damn it.
I wouldn't change it for the world.
Neither, but no, I totally agree with Molly too, because like I think they've said that they're not getting rid of digital matches,
and I think that's smart.
I completely think that's super smart. Although Molly, I hope if you have another match that you will come to studio because I'm here. So.
Yes,
yay!
Given the chance, we love flying out and doing in studio stuff. So for us, yes, but for anyone who isn't able to fly out, they should still be able.
Okay, wait. Can we try to do this? Can we try to four-corner it right now?
That way?
Oh, are we doing the court?
Oh, I thought we were going like.
No, they
Right,
said corner. Great job, guys. We're real cool. Really cool.
I do want to say just quickly, because it'll come up maybe later today and definitely in the future too. But because of digital, we could see the return of a lot of people that may have retired already. Because digital isn't as hard on them. And I'm not going to name any names because they could come up later, but we could see a lot of retired Schmoedown players returning because of the digital format. Because as of right now, that's how 2021 is going to start off. For the foreseeable future, it will be digital. Maybe some live stuff here and there if it's, social distance and stuff like that. But as of right now, that's what the foreseeable future of the Schmoedown looks like. So, and Sen Shepard, I'm not talking about Rachel. I'm talking about someone else. But again, that'll probably come up a little bit later on. I do want to read this super chat this Streamlabs real quick that we did get in. This is from
not cool to have super chats yet, Jake.
Yeah, I can't wait to the day that happens, though.
This is from Will Watson, and he's coming in with his regular Sunday one. He says, "What's up, View Crew? This year has been crazy, but the two best things for me is finding y'all and going to my first MTS live event in Atlanta." As Molly probably remembers.
Yeah.
Can't wait for next season. Thank you, Will, for that donation. It's definitely been a crazy year. Again, if you guys have any questions about this or anything else we're going to talk about throughout the show, you guys can hit that Streamlabs link. It's in the description. It's right above me. Just type it into your web browser. You guys can do it there and do that. And then I also want to make sure I say, for all of you patrons, for POV patrons, or if you want to become a POV patron, tonight is our live stream hangout with our $20 patrons. And so if you want to be a $20 patron, if you want to hang out with us a little bit after show, hit that Patreon link. You guys can join up and see us tonight after the show. But for now, let's go ahead and move things forward just a little bit and talk about some things. So we kind of did an overview of what this year in the Schmoedown was. Let's talk a little bit about, oh God, where's my list? Where'd it go? There's all Brian's toys. Where'd it go?
You have no idea.
Oh, there we go.
The lengths I had to get to just to get to those toys. We had to destroy my garage. Destroy it in just claw. And then once I got them, I'm like, I thought I had more.
You had a lot. You had 10 ships.
It was a lot. I did have a lot. And
now you got to find places for all of them.
I know.
Yeah. I didn't even.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. I didn't even show you guys all of them. I had I found my X-Wing. I found my little droid vultures. Anakin's pod racer.
I saw that the pod racer was cool. I was like, oh.
You saw Sebulbas.
I was gonna say that was there was a pod racer there, and I got excited.
I sent Molly a picture, or sent you guys a droid, and Molly's like, "That's da 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 da," and I'm like,
$8.99.
It was EV99. You guys thought it was 8D8.
I did not. I knew it wasn't 8D8.
I had to step in and correct you.
Brian was like, "Is this 8D8?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah. So
I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Yeah. Yes.
So we kind of started talking about the digital stuff slightly. Do you want to transition a little bit into maybe some positive and negatives of digital, kind of what worked, what didn't work a little bit, because it was the biggest thing that happened for 2020. And like we had mentioned already, a lot of people who never got to play before, we haven't seen in a long time, got to play. We saw different versions of the digital era also brought together. So a lot of tournaments, so we can kind of transition to that as well, because that's also on the list. What did we think of the digital format outside of what we talked about already?
I'll start.
Okay, go. As you have started.
I'll start with it's a goldfish. Actually, they are holiday shaped goldfish. They're okay. I will start with the negative. I miss the cutscenes. I miss the we didn't really get a whole lot of storyline this season until like the last 2 weeks.
Which is understandable.
That's going to come with the digital age, you know. So for me, that was really my only big disappointment with the digital age. But with the factions being a new thing, I think the digital age really heightened up the importance of a manager.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we
Good
would have
call.
seen that if we didn't have the digital age. Getting those manager interviews, getting the voice of the manager, hearing all of the talk between the managers and the competitors, and really that interaction between factions was one of the biggest takeaways I had from the digital era.
Yeah.
So that was my one, literally my one negative was that we really didn't have any storylines, which that's gonna happen.
I will say it's not so much didn't matter just digital. The factions was just, oh my God.
Yeah.
I love it. Don't ever go back to individuals. Keep it factions. I love it. I love the teamwork people are doing. I love managers coaching. That's the best thing. I love it. So yeah, that was another part.
I mean, we knew about the factions going in. We didn't know how it was going to work. We didn't know if the points were going to line up or if the matches were going to line up. And it's funny because before the digital stuff started, the amount of matches that factions were getting weren't matching up. They, like the Rockstars
the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, and there were different factions that were getting lesser number of matches compared to others. Finstock Exchange had a crap ton, Rockstars had none, and it just didn't correlate. But the second that digital started, because you can film them whenever you're available and not just planning on a Saturday, you can film as many as you want whenever you're available, because they do, and granted they do take a while, that's fair, and you have to give it an advancement, but now you're able to even things out for everybody. And the second the digital era started, that's when the faction thing really started to work. It was working before, and we knew that the points were working. The Den was up there, Finstock Exchange, people were mixing and matching. But the second that the digital started, everybody started to shift. And I know I think Shepard had said in the comments that the energy level wasn't the same, and that's fair. I can say, main negative is the energy isn't the same in all in the internet connection, which is a totally fair comment.
Completely understandable.
But I will say this. There were a number of moments inside the digital space of Schmoedown with promos, and the first thing that came to mind was that entrance of Laura Kelly during the Star Wars tournament where she went heel. That was digital. That wasn't in person. That was digital, and you still get chills watching that. Yeah. So you get those moments, and it may not be as much, but you get those moments in the digital. But yeah, the faction stuff, it really started to work more so than it did before the second you were able to do digital, because then you can even things out. And you guys had already mentioned, but you could see the managers doing their actual job on screen rather than to see them pop in for intros and outros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very true.
They had to actually become managers.
Yeah.
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 And those people that didn't have a manager or didn't know the purpose of one, it seemed to work for the majority of the people. I think of someone like Liz. She was great on her own, but I feel like Winston elevated her to a next step. Just giving that extra little advice. Real Rejects, I feel like with Corey.
Oh my God.
They
became one of my favorite teams.
They were amazing. We were obsessed with them when they were going. Yeah, exactly. The team strategy, the one that I immediately always am like, oh, be quiet, I want to listen to is when Coy talks to his team. It's amazing.
Yes.
So it's, to be honest, it's going to kind of be a bummer when that has to probably
So
go
good.
away.
That gif when she does, it's a gif. It's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah, it's. I will. Yeah, it's. I agree. There's definitely negatives, and there are definitely. I love the speed round. I hope they never give it back to the buzzers, or just let them choose like a home field advantage.
I think they should choose. I think instead of choosing spinners and opponents or not, like they just shouldn't have spinners and opponents, but they could be able to choose between speed round and buzzer.
Yeah.
For title matches.
For title matches, yes.
Yeah.
I agree. I've said this, and I think we'll get into this at some point, and I'll just say this now, but one of the biggest things I want changed going forward is that the champions need to be given an advantage.
100%.
They need to be and if that's just a choice, like they need, like if they're allowed to choose something, because spinners and opponent's choice is like whatever. Like it doesn't really come into play a lot of times.
Because they might not even land on it. So
choosing something like the buzzers or the new speed round could be big, and you can do both in person too when we ever get back to person. They're both available to do in person anyway.
Yeah. It's a cool little twist that gives a home field advantage. And maybe, I mean, Smets is incredibly fast with the buzzers. Bateman, I believe, is also very fast.
That's how Bateman got his 6-point leads.
Exactly. So maybe someone like them would want a buzzer, whereas maybe someone like
Dan Merle.
Yeah, or
Dan Merle would rather. Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna say Alex, but Alex probably just doesn't care.
Well, I was gonna say he talked to me a little bit about it, and he likes the new way of doing the speed round, but he thinks he'd still destroy with the buzzers.
So I mean, there you go. And who knows? Maybe you could think that you would destroy with the buzzer, and then you go up against someone that you didn't realize how fast they were.
Yeah,
I think it kind of gives it a little bit of a fun little twist. Which I mean, it could be a huge advantage or even just a teeny little one, or it could do nothing at all. So I don't know. I think that would be a really fun little twist, and it's not something that is going to come up all the time.
Yeah.
Just those championship matches.
I do think we could upgrade the buzzers to I don't know, buzzer technology.
There has to be an app, right?
Yeah,
I bet you there's an app for that.
I feel like, isn't there, like in college, wasn't there like a
button,
like a thing, and then someone had a panel and they could see, like, I don't know. Don't ask me.
There's gotta be something.
Because I've seen the buzzers mess up quite a few times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we need to up the buzzer budget.
Buzzer buzz it.
The buzzer budget. The Mike
yeah.
Oh yeah, all the cameos from people's pets, from Mike. From
Yeah, there's an app for that.
cameo.
Okay, so we just got a couple Streamlabs that I do want to get to.
Thank you.
Ricardo coming in with a very generous donation.
Rick, stop it.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Rick, thank you so much, man. And he says, "Happy holidays, guys. Thank you for a great year. Can't say enough about how much this community helped this year. Same with us, man. Same with us. And we're glad that you and everyone else is a part of it." Mr. Raiko says, "Happy New Year to everyone. You four and the rest of the crew were one of the things that didn't suck in 2020. Here's hoping to a great 2021.
Thank you.
We got some fun
I'm
stuff
glad we don't suck. I'm glad that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Don't suck. Yes.
Hey, we've got some fun stuff. Ideas are coming for you guys.
We do have some fun stuff.
And
not
I
even
actually, because there was a comment that just flew by here a little while ago, I'm going to say something here in a second. So let me read through these real quick. Kylie has one that says, "So one of my favorite things was Jake's reaction to a certain bowling pin. It was priceless, and Molly's fart in the Q&A. Amazing."
Oh, your
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
The hand
right.
part. The hand part. So, what is
One of
everyone's
my many
favorite?
talents.
What is everyone's favorite on-camera and off-camera thing that happened on a certain point of view this season? I will say this. Because I just watched this again, maybe a week ago. The obvious answer is the Ladies Appreciation Night.
Yes.
On camera.
Ladies' Night is one of my favorite.
Yeah, the on-camera stuff. That's kind of like a given for me in this and just us in general. But also a super random one. But do you guys remember when Kylo barked to start the show off?
No.
Yes. Yes.
So we started the show and I turned my mic on and he started barking the second my mic went on.
Yeah.
Sounds like
To open the show. It's actually a clip in the intro. I actually edited it because we were laughing so hard. But I adore that moment so much. I adore that moment so much.
Yeah.
I love it.
That is so Kylo. Yeah. For me, I loved anything and everything we did with the the best.
Especially when Koi would pop in the chat, like right after the fact. Like he just knew Molly was saying shit. That was the best.
So good. I loved everything. Perfect time to come in, Rick. I loved the Q&As are just too fun to be allowed to be done. It's just absolute nonsense, and it's fueled by the questions that come in, and it's just, I mean, that thing could literally go on for hours. I mean, we've maxed at like 2.
I feel like we're always going to end up singing now.
Yeah,
something, which is totally fine with me.
Just the silliness. Anything on camera silliness has just been the best. I mean, people popping in, that, like Brian just said, the comments last week, we were crying, laughing. It was just
great. Those were so good.
That was the best. Jake, they were coming in so fast we couldn't even keep up with it.
It's going to be a Twitter clip this week. It'll be a Twitter
clip.
Yeah. Anything and everything just that we did on screen. It was just the best.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of our stuff, I mean, because we do hangouts with each other, but a lot of the fun moments, and not that it's not fun, but a lot of the fun moments are all on screen. You guys see everything.
Yeah.
You guys really do see everything.
If we're off camera, like we'll get together and like watch a live event. Like we're filming it. Like we do crazy shit, but like it's always being filmed.
I would say the Hilo whistling moment, but that's on camera. So
that is technically on camera, and I wasn't there at the moment.
Sean,
okay, you completely started that, Jake Flynn. And you started the whistling.
No.
There is video evidence, sir.
No.
It's just
Hilo enjoyed himself, so that's all that matters.
There's just so much good stuff. Like it's
impossible. There's going to be a lot more this upcoming year.
Yeah,
I'd say like everything fun happened on screen. Off screen though, like besides our group chat, I'd say the Discord is pretty awesome.
Good call.
It's the best.
I do love Discord. I love
so many threads for just nonsense that it's hilarious.
When we first started it, we were like, let's do a food one, let's do a makeup one, let's do
this thing.
I mean, we have one for sports, we have one for makeup, we have one for collections, we have one for, I can't even think of them. There's so many.
But if you want us to add more, we'll add more. We don't care. We will make more things.
Oh, okay. That might be one of my favorites.
What?
When Frank dropped when Frank dropped that right at the beginning and just chaos. That was, oh God.
For you non-patrons, that was on screen for our Patreon video, so check that out.
That was
on there. I was during a Patreon.
Yeah.
That was. For me,
Chuck, I will definitely put my Star Wars, and I showed my Power Rangers collection too, so I'll do that too.
For me, my favorite, I don't think I could count like a specific off-screen moment just because there's so many with us. Like whether it's just like our random Zoom calls that we do, or like are just hanging out after the show, or Sean comes in and we just start like
Sean comes in the middle of the show.
That too, like, but like we're like we'll spill the tea and we'll talk about like just whatever the heck we want. Like it's just so much fun. But one of my favorite on-screen moments wasn't even on POV. It was on Swag Day Fun Day.
Oh,
that was a great day.
We were all hammered. We were all just completely sloshed. And that was the day where do your research was done. And that has become just like this inside joke. And like and then I think we did a show after that where we drank even more, and
all of them came on to the show
with us. Yeah,
Video, Drew, Lon, and Winston all came with us.
Yeah. And then
we're like, let's just keep it going. Let's party.
And then what EM said was my genuine fangirl reaction to Deception, because Jake fucking surprised us with that. I had no goddamn clue.
I go back and watch that clip so many times; it's amazing.
Like, and a hardcore fangirl. And then also, which is another on-camera moment, is where we found out that Molly had a match with Laura.
Yeah, you guys saw that
That was another one. We like, honest to God, you guys, like, we had no idea. We had no clue.
I'm pretty bad at keeping secrets, but I'm proud of that.
I'm so proud of you. Like we had no idea. I was like, wait, what is happening? Molly, how dare you not tell us? But thank you for not telling us.
I will say this. Speaking of the ladies' night stuff, it was really cool to have Mark and Christian involved in that too.
I was just about to
because
say
a lot of people didn't know that they were coming.
Yeah.
And I also want to say this is an off-screen thing as well, but the way StreamYard works is so for Jill and Molly's sake, because they don't have a login to Streamer, they can't see the entire room of who's involved.
Yeah, we don't have the weight room.
So, and Brian does, because sometimes he runs the show for me. And so when I have surprises or guests coming, I love waiting because Brian sees people pop in. And then he'll text me, and he texts me on the side and says, "You son of a bitch," or "You fucking bastard." When Deception popped in, Adam popped in first, and he goes, "You fucker, did you get Marisol too?" And I never responded.
No, I said, "Oh, you should have invited Marisol."
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh,"
and then she popped in, so I love seeing Brian's reactions while all this conversation is happening, because he gets to see everything behind the scenes like I do. And so seeing when he saw those two, and for the whole year, when he saw Christian pop in, when he's like everyone, I can see his reaction completely change.
Yeah, y'all left me by myself with Christian and Mark, and I had no idea what I was doing.
That was going to be one of my things.
Thanks. Thanks, guys. I'm just here with fucking Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis. Like, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna try and pretend like I know what I'm doing. It was like my third show.
It was great. Okay, so we have 2 more Streamlabs, and then we're gonna reveal something here on the channel that we have coming for 2021. So first up is from Brandon Buck. What's up, Buck? He says, "Con of Digital Age. Length of matches were too long. Too much bantering back and forth by hosts at the beginning and the managers before the actual match. Average of 20 to 25 minutes before actual match." I mean, I'll give it to him.
That's pretty normal, though.
I don't disagree.
With once it's all edited together, like the in-studio matches are pretty close to that.
It's because the added
manager interview.
They talk to the managers and players separate. Before it was all in one.
It was just the one.
So now they're 2 separate sections instead of the one, which could end up being changed. Who knows? But I thought it worked out well because like we mentioned earlier, the managers became such a pivotal part. Like you kind of needed their input a little bit.
Yeah.
I will say with some of those though, I do agree. Some of them you're just like, okay, just start the match. There's absolutely
it became repetitive because it was just the same people facing the same people, and it was.
But also, you had some just manager
like Shannon and Roxy.
Yes.
Because I think anytime there was a Shannon and Roxy match, you were like, "Oh, we get Shannon and Roxy again."
Yeah, and then you're just sitting there like, "Oh my god, oh my god!"
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them's gonna cry, right? I'm crying, and they're not even insulting me. It's just, I will. They are definitely ones where you're just like, "All right, come on." and it's no fault. It's just like you're ready to go.
Yeah.
And then there's other ones where you're just like, oh my God, they are going to kill each other. And it's just, yeah.
All right, one more Streamlabs, or actually two more. One just popped in. Happy holidays, y'all. So, or this is from Chuck. Happy holidays, y'all. So thankful for Jake the Wall, Darth Molly, Jill Starburst, and hashtag Uncancel Brian, and the entire View crew. You've been a highlight and helpful in a dark year, and I'm stoked to see what 2021 brings. See you next year. Thank you, Chuck.
Cheers. Thank you, Chuck.
And then this one comes from Reef Tanya, says, just to prolong the reveal and put about 1,000 dots. That was long enough. Okay, so what we're doing, and we have a couple things planned in 2020. We're not going to reveal everything yet, but one that will be coming very soon. And this was to what Brian Nussbaum had asked a little bit early on in the show, if we're doing a draft or not. We will be doing a draft here on POV, but it's not going to be in the style of what C2A just did. We're actually going to be playing Fantasy Schmoedown, essentially. We're going to be drafting players. Yeah, we are going to draft players. We're going to create our own teams, and we're going to keep points throughout the entire year, and see which team at the end of the year wins. And it's not just going to be us four who are doing it as well. We have 4 people in the community who are going to be joining us, and it's going to be really, really fun time. One of them is Mr. Sean Sullivan. He will be with us doing it. Can't do it without him. And then the other 3 are actually big names who don't get enough recognition in this league. And that is Mr. Frank Janish, Dwayne Burke, and Abby Friel will be joining us in the fantasy draft. The 8 of us, excuse me. The 8 of us will be doing a fantasy draft and drafting our own teams of Schmoedown players here in the next couple weeks.
And this is straight up like fantasy football. We can trade. We can toss people to the bench for somebody else that's on the roster. Like, this is fantasy Schmoedown. Like, we're gonna do our damnedest to make this actually work. We're gonna try.
This will be interesting. I've never participated in fantasy football.
I haven't either. I'm pretending like I know what I'm talking about. So,
you're doing a good job, Jill.
Hey. That's the thing. Can Molly pick herself?
Yeah, I mean, Sean could.
Why not? Yeah, I don't see why not.
I mean, Sean could, so
that's fair. Sean could also pick himself.
I feel like someone's gonna grab Sean before Sean does, or someone's gonna take Molly before Molly does.
Probably.
Because they're not gonna take themselves high. I don't think they would anyway.
I mean, I have
Molly, go big. Pick yourself first.
I was just gonna say, someone might steal your man if you don't want Sean.
Someone's gonna pick Sean before me, and he's gonna look at me like, "What the fuck? Why did you not?" I'm sorry.
Jake's gonna call Sean and be like, "All right, Sean, this is what I need you to do. I need you to get me 3 points this week." And
yeah, and to what Jeremy said, yes, people can draft themselves in fantasy football or baseball. That's sure, but it's just whether or not they want to. And it all depends on who picks first. If someone gets her before you
come up with a prize.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Like a mini Schmoedown.
We should come up with some. We should
Schmoedown bracelet.
Have you ever watched The League?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need to make some stupid BS trophy that we can send to each other, something stupid like that.
We'll find something. We got all year to figure out what the actual prize would be. So.
Yeah, we need to make sure we can get it to work before we get
It'll work.
It'll work.
Have confidence.
I do. I'm excited. I can't wait to see. Here's the thing that I'm excited for. I know Jake to a T. He's going to go cuckoo bananas with designing our logos.
I'm not. I already have someone else making a logo.
You don't our own teams. You don't want
I mean, if I can attempt to, yes, but I actually have someone making the official POV Fantasy Schmoedown League logo.
I'm not talking that. I'm talking our teams.
Okay.
Molly's would be I don't know, a bunch of little childs everywhere.
Team Grogu.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. That'll be a lot of work, but we'll see what happens. All right. Well, with that said, let's go ahead and shift gears a little bit to some more talk about this past year, and let's talk about the tournaments a little bit, because this was a big aspect of 2020. Each division got their tournament, which was the first time in the league's history that happened, and it paid off huge. The Star Wars tournament kicked off first, followed by the IG, and then the singles and teams. That was in order, and it started up pretty quickly. As soon as the digital age started in May, or the end of May, the Star Wars tournament was one of the first things to begin. So the first week of June, I think, is when it aired. And then we got tournaments for the rest of the year, essentially.
Yeah, that's basically what it all was.
Yeah.
I mean, tournaments essentially saved this season.
Yes.
100%.
Yep. So
100%.
And I mean, look at it now. Now we're like, ooh, tournament next year.
Yeah. So I mean, let's talk about pros and cons in what we see 2021 looking like with tournaments, because it seems like that's going to be the case. But now that we have a full year of digital, essentially, how will they be placed? How is it going to work? Is it going to be the same, et cetera, et cetera? But let's start with last year's tournaments, first of all, and what we thought of them.
Loved it.
Yeah. It was
I mean, it gave so many more people the opportunity to play, especially for Star Wars. Like, it's usually once or twice a year that we get a Star Wars match, and then we got a whole freaking tournament.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Star Wars blew up this year. I mean, look at how popular it is, and that came from that tournament.
And it's funny because, like, people were talking about, like, oh, I don't know about the Star Wars League. You know, Alex is dominating, and is it worth, continuing to have that around? But then the tournament happened, and everybody was like, holy shit, this is super entertaining to watch.
Yeah. I mean, that tournament was amazing. Just from the beginning, Ace's run, Demoanta just barreling through, Molly showing up for the first time. It just like Sean's. Sean had that match before Laura, so he had a couple there. It's just
got tonned out of the tournament, guys. I think that's the biggest takeaway from the Star Wars tournament.
And it became an emote. It's everywhere.
It's like a meme now. We got the Sean meme. We got tonned.
Yeah, it's just it's funny because
and don't mean to cut you off, Brian, but this was also a big thing too before the year even started.
Yeah, that's what I was
true.
saying. Like, how dare they?
It's just amazing. Like, it went to a whole new level, and that is 100% because of this tournament.
There's already a fantasy draft in the Discord.
Channel. You guys, holy!
There's already a channel in the Discord. Look at all the messages already.
You guys,
oh my gosh.
Who made the channel?
I don't know.
Oh my goodness,
Jesus!
You guys are the best.
I mean, I'm just saying,
Brian. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's fine. It's just like, I mean, these tournaments were amazing. Were they perfect? No. Were they entertaining? Absolutely. They were so entertaining to watch.
I think the Star Wars tournament was my favorite of the year. I'll say that flat out.
I 100% agree. The level of competition was incredible. It worked. I mean, I was definitely against Twitch being where they.
Rachel.
Rachel.
I was definitely against it being on Twitch, but it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards I was kind of like, okay.
They had crazy numbers of people watching, and I guarantee that brought in so many new viewers. Not only just being on Twitch, but having a whole tournament for Star Wars,
Absolutely.
like that brought in so many new people. As for all the other tournaments, but yeah, live having all of those matches be live on Twitch was insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, the championship match of the tournament had at least 8,000 people watching at once.
That's nuts.
That's the biggest number the Schmoedown has ever had in any live event, any live stream, anything. Period. Any SDN show. That's more numbers than anything on the Schmoedown channel, and that was a Star Wars tournament match between someone who, if this Star Wars tournament wasn't a thing, would not have been given the spotlight like he was. If the Star Wars tournament wasn't a thing, Ace would not be where he is today.
No.
He probably would have his playing ability, but the Star Wars tournament gave us Ace Cabrera. Like, it gave us Ace Cabrera.
Yeah.
And so we owe a lot to that tournament, because if that tournament didn't work, we more than likely wouldn't have got other tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
The season would have probably just gone to poop, honestly. I mean, It was, like I said, was it perfect? No. I would love to see a losers bracket come out of that.
That's my only gripe with Star Wars. I wish there was.
If it stayed small, to the 8, I feel like if you get over 10, you're kind of in wishy-washy waters where you're like, that might be a lot of people. But if you kept it like one person per faction and you have a losers bracket, you could have someone that makes a run through the losers, wins the thing, and has to beat that champion twice.
Star Wars is the only division that can have a losers bracket. Exactly, I know that it eventually can maybe get to a day where they have 2 Star Wars players on a team and they do an IG style tournament, but I don't see the tournament growing more than 1 player per faction.
Probably not.
Kind of like what was it the IG tournament where they could have 2 per faction? Was that what it was? I had to select the 2. I feel like Star Wars is going to be select the 1.
I just
and that would allow for a lose. And look, singles is incredible. Like what Dan Murrell and Adam Collins did in that final match at Spectacular was incredible. But there is no competition like there is in the Star Wars division. There's nothing like it. It is the highest of level of movie trivia that you will see in the Schmoedown. Okay. Scrimshaw and Dimolanta literally was a perfect play. And Scrimshaw technically got the question right, but he wasn't specific enough.
Yeah.
It was a perfect game.
Right, yeah.
Laura Kelly missed 1 question against Ace. He played a perfect game. Mm-hmm. And so, you're not going to get – and I just feel like it would be I would enjoy it more if you only allowed to enter 1 player and did a losers bracket, and they still did it live. And I do want to say to N7 Shepard's comment, I was talking about just live viewers – not overall, just live viewers watching while it was going. It had the most numbers ever. It had at least 8,000 viewers the entire time while it was actually playing. So yeah, I think a losers bracket is a total play, and whether or not you have more Star Wars people in the league, they also have to be drafted. So I don't see managers taking a chance. Maybe 1 or 2 doing 2 Star Wars players. Whoever has Alex, probably taking a second Star Wars player.
Alex would be stupid if they didn't take a second.
But outside of that, every faction is probably going to keep 1, and that still allows for a very small tournament that has a loser bracket.
Yeah, there's, of course, little tiny things that you can change, but overall, it was an amazing success. And I would like to say, where did that comment go? It was perfectly describing it. Crap. Did I lose it?
Womp womp.
Womp womp womp. Here we go. Brian's. The women were the ones that were talked about the most out of the Star Wars. Star Wars is notorious for, seriously.
What's up, Parker?
Star Wars is notorious for being brutal to female fans. And yet, what did we want to see more than anything out of that whole entire thing?
That's what we're getting now.
You guys asked for it. You're getting it.
You asked for it. They're delivering.
It's amazing just how certain things just completely just vanish in the toxic fan stuff. No one cares. They just want to see 2 people battle it out in a match of who knows more about the galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, also, and it's funny because for most of the players in Star Wars, the wheel doesn't really matter that much. Unless you get, even if you get mixed bag or heroes and villains, it's still if you're playing in Star Wars, all the movies. And there's been talk of adding shows like The Mandalorian. I don't know if that would happen because it
not
is
this year for sure.
Yeah, it is the movie trivia Schmoedown, but if they were to add The Mandalorian or God forbid the entirety of Clone Wars.
Rebels.
Oh my God. Could
Rebels.
you imagine
the Resistance or whatever.
Alex has said it in several interviews. That only makes him stronger because he is, both of us have watched all of those, but he's done videos on every single video.
Every player would be watching Alex's videos.
He's done videos on every episode of every show. So
I mean, think about this though. How scary is this going to be? Give it a couple years. Alex is going to have Rogue Squadron on the wheel, a pilot movie. His absolute.
You won't even be able to pay attention. He'll be so excited.
Yeah. Oh god. So yeah, no. Star Wars tournament was amazing. It arguably was the thing that saved the season.
Yeah.
Because like Jake said,
it proved that they could do it digitally.
Yes. And they had the balls to try it out on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have just done your normal thing and it
And
worked.
live.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
There's a reason why they didn't continue to do them live.
Yeah. But I mean, like
It worked.
It worked. It absolutely worked. And if Star Wars hadn't been the success that it would, you could absolutely possibly see that division going away.
Yeah.
And possibly have put the season on hold. And not only are we now looking back and saying, wow, that was a pretty good season for what we had, Star Wars is one of the most talked about ones right now. It's the one people are looking forward to the most. It's opening the season with Molly and Laura's match in the undercard. The hype of the Dragon Con player. Like it's so funny how just literally a year ago it was like, do we want this anymore? To now it's like, oh, I can't wait for that to come back.
Yeah.
And it honestly kind of made tournaments a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like now people are like, the season's cool, but just think about how crazy a tournament. I mean, maybe like if you rank the players by like college football, like this person hasn't lost yet this season. They're the number 1 seed. But it's amazing where it came from. So
Yeah, and to add on to that, because of the Star Wars tournament, and this was a lot of polls leading up to Spectacular, a lot of people were looking forward to the Star Wars match the most out of all 5 of them, or all 6 of them, excuse me.
Yeah.
They were looking forward to Ace versus Alex, and that was because of the Star Wars tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But let's shift gears to the other tournaments too, because we had 3 more, which was followed by the IG one, and the IG one was crazy. The IG one was crazy. It had more players. 2 people from each faction, and we had upsets. We had shocking players in the tournament in general, but also winning. Obviously, I know he's in the chat, but the one that we could talk about is Chance going on and winning the tournament. He had to beat Robert Parker to get there, which nobody was expecting.
No.
And then he beat Kalinowski in the final, which was a big deal. And we see someone like Chance who is
invitational.
Yeah.
The Corruption Invitational.
The Corruption Invitational, yeah. But look, Chance over the last couple of years, he's won a team's belt with Mike. He's played well. He's done well in singles tournaments and stuff like that. But he's never really gotten over that hump. IG might be that hump for him. Like he might have kind of found his groove a little bit in this league. And whatever you want to say about the Spectacular match, sure, cool. But he proved himself. And because of that tournament, again, we got someone who could be really, really good in the division going forward.
Yeah. I mean, he's not a one-trick pony. That's absolutely for sure. IG was just as good. Just as good.
Yeah, and just like Star Wars, IG, the questions, just the overall knowledge of people, everyone stepped up their game tremendously in IG for the tournament. It was insane to watch.
I mean, look at Alex. Alex came out and won a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
was
involved in that Green Hornet challenge.
He was like, I'll give IG a whirl. Why not? And he made it through a couple of people. So
he did great.
now he's not just a one-trick pony.
No, he is not. Lord of the Rings tournament, and then good God.
Yeah, we got the exhibition matches.
That's true.
That's right.
And because of COVID, we were able to get an exhibition match a month.
Yeah.
And that Lord of the Rings one topping them all, obviously.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
If you're not an SEM patron, go get a Schmoedown patron. Go do your patronage. That way you can get those matches because those are incredible.
I need to watch it, but I also don't know anything about Lord of the Rings, so I would just be like, look at all these questions being answered.
It's so fun though to watch Alex and Robert Parker just go back and forth.
All I know is that behind the scenes I think they were like writing questions as they were going because they didn't realize it was going to go that far, so they were like crap, and they were like writing questions on the fly because y'all.
We ran out of Lord of the Rings. Let's start asking Harry Potter questions.
Anyway, so we're at Lord of the Rings questions. We're gonna throw in a different genre here.
I mean, look at how fun the Champions match was too. Like, oh yeah, see, there you go, Canada. Like,
which we did a reaction to it at the Smash-a-thon.
We did.
Yeah, it was just. I mean, that was fun. I mean, you know, luck happened to spin its way a couple times. Thank God, because it definitely probably would have made things a little bit less dramatic. But like, still, like to me, that's like a classic match, and that was just a freaking exhibition. So I mean, yeah,
and that was one of the first ones too. That was really
it was the first one. It was in February or March. March.
I think March.
Yeah, March.
Yeah, because I made a comment on it going, oh, this was like early COVID.
Alex was so proud of his sports question.
Did it.
The replacement.
I know, and then it gave poor Alex a sense of knowing sports. And then when Mark asked him that one,
he was
what is the team in Atlanta that plays basketball? I don't know.
We have a basketball team?
It's like, come on, Mark. You can't put the idea of sports in Alex's head right before a Star Wars match. None of that is in there.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, IG tournament was just as good. We had some dramatic wins, losses in that one. I mean, the easiest one for me to just pops in my head was like, I mean, Alex won and then won again. But then at the same time, Mike came in and just was like, no. And so, I mean,
that DC boy, oof, that was rough.
So, I mean, yeah, that was a great tournament as well. Great tournament.
That was one.
Single tournament was up next, and this is where we got the birth of Adam Collins, which we've talked at length about. But I mean, without the singles tournament, we would not have gotten Adam Collins.
The singles tournament was insane because Mike Kalinowski got booted out the first round
by Perry
Nemiroff, which was astounding.
I will say this too. Just going back on stuff that we've done too. We got to interview her that week.
Yeah,
that was really cool. Kind of seeing her like freak out over.
She was so freaking excited.
Yeah, she was like, she was totally just like on such a high from beating him, and just couldn't believe that it was happening and everything. So that was a really cool interview. If you now checked out our Perry Nemiroff interview, our first one, because we had her on twice. Definitely go check it out because it was a really cool reaction to see her talk about that win against Mike.
Chuck, that was a good comment.
So many brackets were busted in that tournament.
Oh yeah,
yeah. The second round against Roca. Bye.
No, that was the first round.
Well, I because I think of the play-in as the first round, which is why I say
yeah. But I mean, and then you have. You guys keep taking it right up before I'm about to say it. The Snyder, just him slashing his way through that tournament. Like Adam coming out of nowhere. I mean, and then Perry, Riley had a couple good wins.
I loved watching Liz Shannon Miller play, especially when she beat Chance. I was like, oh, it's so good. It feels so good.
I was super bummed that she beat Bibbs, but a well-deserved win.
Yeah.
That Liz is, we were like cheering her. Yeah.
I mean, I love Bibbs. I love Chance, but just watching her beat them, I was like, yes.
Go.
Yeah, she was just phenomenal. And I mean, Tank Girl, her hat, just everything about it. She showed that she is a first round draft pick. So
she's going high. And
if she's not kept by someone.
If Winston doesn't keep her, it's the wrong move on Winston's part.
I agree.
But if Winston doesn't keep her, she will be within the first 4 picks.
100%.
If someone else doesn't grab her. I mean,
she's going to go very high, and as she should, because she is incredible.
She's definitely a future champion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Possibly in 2 divisions.
Oh yeah.
Depending on who her partner is, and if all those rumors true about her possibly teaming up with an Ethan Irwin, my goodness,
that would be rad.
I mean, she's on her way to being the highest win female singles player within probably next year. I mean,
if she plays all year, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, she's a phenomenal player. There was a lot of good people to come out of singles. I mean, new names, and yeah, that was a good one. Every single tournament was so good this year.
It really was. Plus, we got Marisol Bonnie.
Oh
I
my
mean,
gosh!
do you remember that match?
Oh my god! I might have voted that as my favorite match of the year.
It was mine too.
I mean,
that might have been my number one match of the year.
I was so sad seeing people talk down about it and saying, "Oh, like this was a train wreck" or whatever.
It
Like,
was beautiful.
think about the entertainment value and like what the Schmoedown is, and just enjoy it for what it is. Like, it was amazing to watch, and she pulled that 5-pointer, like.
With the pool guy in the window. Oh, pool guy.
Pool guy. Pool guy's here. Oh no, what do I do? There's the pool guy. Like, it was so fucking good. And then Marisol just like didn't even react to anything from it. So she just kept her cool the entire
time. She was probably dying on the inside.
I would be just straight up dying. I would be like, I need to leave for a second because I am just dying. I am on the floor. I'm dead. Like,
Christian was dying just as well watching it. Like, oh god,
so
it was. Yeah,
She has like one of the first entrances too.
That has to win entrance of the year, right?
I voted that entrance. That was
I did. I voted that one. I don't know if it wins, but that is
if
one that
doesn't win. Y'all voted wrong because that is entrance of the year.
Also, that too. I mean, the feud.
Yes,
Bonnie and Shannon.
Because she was traded from Corruption earlier in the year.
I'm still mourning the fact that there was no promo of the year.
Well, let's I know that we have the teams tournament. We've talked at length and it's very recent, but let's talk about the promo of the year here because there's a lot of them. And digital wise, Nerd Chronic just absolutely crushed it. But also, I wanted to say, because of the digital era, it made players and managers become really creative at home. Mm-hmm. And perfect example was you and Adam with what you guys had to work with. It made everybody better at shooting promos, and that's going to be better when we get back into in studio, also in live events. Because of this, everyone's gotten better at it. They all had to do something at home, and yes, it's shocking that there's no award for it.
I almost broke Sean's computer filming his promo because I threw the Lysol wipes and I hit his mom and it almost broke. So
there was so
promos.
I mean, Molly and Adam's one.
I mean, Alex was in there.
Alex made a cameo.
Alex,
I tried to make the GIF of you pushing him a thing. Let's see what else. Laura being a heel. Yeah.
All the
Kevin Smith. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the Kate moments with Tom.
Tam.
I wish this was his corrections were great.
So many t-shirts need to be made from some of the quotes of the season.
Yes.
Yeah. Bibbs is every time he had a kitty cat. I mean, I'm trying to think. Laura's one got me so hyped when she played bad or went heel. Bonnie.
Ben Goddard bird watching was also good because he went off the caw joke and like so.
That was a good one. That was very good. Caw. Anything with Lon, he's just like lost.
In someone's house, we don't know whose. Taco's house, apparently.
Taco's house.
His landlord.
Yeah.
I have a good promo that we could actually watch right now.
Oh.
And for those of you who may have watched it before, know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know if this can be considered promo of the year, but it's actually a really good promo.
I mean,
You oh, there should be a women's league. There's no women's league.
Yeah.
There's no women's league. We are the league. We're in the league, and we're the winners right now.
Hiding from my future, never knew what I was meant for. Scared to take a step, cause if I left, then it would mean war. If I go to battle, will I make it back? And if I never do, will I wish I had? Cause no one ever thought that we could build ourselves an army. Got each other's back until we finished what we started. Kicking down the doors till the kingdom falls.
Rachel and I are coming for the belts.
We could be the warriors. They don't know who they messing with. They don't know we were born for this. We could be the warriors. They don't know who they messing with. So let them know who they messing with. We are warriors. Yes, we are warriors. We are warriors. Yes, we are warriors.
I have such that still gives me
It gives me chills so much.
fucking chills. Like, oh my
So
god,
good. I wish they had more shots of me in studio, but
that was Darth Molly. Like,
I love that shot though. That shot's so sick. Such
that
a,
was from Dragon Con.
yeah, it's such a cool shot.
that's still like just I am just all goosebumped. Like, don't mean to toot our own horn, but
Also, again,
That's Nerd Chronic.
another big surprise on my part too to you two.
Yeah,
Remember,
we had
you
no
didn't
idea.
know about that.
Mm-mm.
oh no, yeah, we had no clue. Yeah, Jake was like, oh, by the way, we have a promo. I was like, we have a what? We have a what?
And
Like, who? But
you-
Nerd Chronic did what? For what? What happened? What?
And then you dropped it on poor Abby and Janine,
Oh
who
yeah,
had no idea.
Abby, Janine,
Aw.
and Drew. Right? It was Abby,
Yeah,
Janine.
Drew.
Right before they came on, yeah.
Yeah, she already knew, so she was like, eh. But yeah, that I loved that. I could watch that. I've watched that thing probably
So good.
more than I should. It's so good.
I love going back and watching that just because I love seeing the reaction of everybody in the comments.
Yeah.
And how
Yeah.
excited they were to see something like that, and for just the event in general, to see all the ladies in the spotlight, stuff like that together. It was really, really, really special. Really special.
Oh yeah, that whole entire day was just
So good.
the best.
Kylie said in the chat, Ladies Night 2, we should make it a yearly thing for sure.
Oh, 100%. I think we were talking about this a little bit ago.
Ladies Appreciation Night will 1000% be coming back.
That's-
will be
that-
happening this year. We don't have an exact date yet, but we have more than just 6 days to plan this time.
That was, yeah, guys, that was literally
6 days.
That was 6 days. Like
We came up with the idea. We were talking.
to execution was.
We were talking with Ben because we had Ben Goddard on the week before, and it was our first ever live show. Ben was our first ever live show, and we were talking with him, and we were just like, "Oh man, we're thinking about this." And then during the show, we like confirmed it, and then we dropped it at the end of the show, and then we had 6 days to plan everything, and we got all of those ladies involved.
Mhm.
It was wild. It was crazy. It worked out so well. Yeah, and I can't wait for number 2. I mean, number 2 is gonna be crazy. We're gonna even have more people involved.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and get every single person involved in this stream because we now have 5 or 6 months to do so.
Now we have more time to play.
Yeah. It will definitely be a yearly annual
Yes.
thing. It has to
Which
be.
means even more tearful Nerd Chronic promos.
Oh god. Oh god.
Inject it into my veins. Give it to me.
Oh goodness.
I need
I
an
was
edited
trying-
by Nerd Chronic shirt.
Same.
I'm gonna keep saying it, but
I'm gonna tweet Ryan again and be like,
Matsunaga, yeah.
waiting.
We want this shirt.
I'm holding up money and saying, take it. Take
my
my money.
Yes, Brian, it will definitely be a question on Ladies Night.
oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
not a POV interview without asking what your favorite.
Might just like suggest that people bring their favorite candy.
Yeah, bring your favorite candy to eat while we talk to you and we hang out.
Our patrons can help us figure out what to do too.
Then everyone will be on a sugar high, and it'll be even better.
Candy and wine, I'm in. Let's go.
Oh God.
Oh God.
All right. So to wrap up the show, let's talk a little bit about maybe some things that we can see changes in 2021. Looking forward to the new year. I know that we're going to probably do some shows that will have this going forward, but just maybe some things that overall in Schmoedown that we saw this year that we would like to see adjusted or completely changed around. Is there anything that comes to mind for anybody that we haven't talked about already?
More storylines. I want storylines back.
I think that's probably the biggest thing.
I'm not gonna be like, give me storylines. It's not.
No, I'm not gonna revolt if like there is. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna like.
absolutely.
Yes, there's no storylines. I'm not gonna watch like that's not no.
Yeah,
But
I would love to have the storylines. The storylines are hilarious. It's fun, but like, I'd rather quality than just push it. So like, I didn't mind just waiting towards the end to get it. I mean, that's definitely something I would love. I'm a sucker for the promos before. I would love to see the return of Bibbs and the kids' famous promos and openings when they come on and stuff like that. I miss those because it kind of always adds a little bit of fun. Look at how many of what we just saw in that video were entrances.
T-shirt, make a t-shirt.
Yeah. I think right now there's a good amount of heels.
I love myself some heels.
I think we need more like clear faces, like people that are trying to speak out against the heel.
Ben Bateman was a face. Ben Bateman was not no face.
No. He's such a heel.
Nice try. He was not a face.
I mean,
he will never be a face going forward.
No. I mean, yeah, I mean that would be kind of cool. I think Mara will definitely fill that role. I was
going to say kind of like a more hero, not a more anti-hero. There's a lot of anti-heroes. We need more heroes.
I tried to be a face, but it's real hard.
You've got that.
You're going to turn at some point, Molly.
Yeah,
Molly Damon heel turn.
You are Ray looking at the dark side hole and just like, what's down there?
What's in this?
It's only a matter of time.
Yeah. So, that would be, those types of things would be cool. But honestly, like, I'm not complaining about anything. Just I love it the way that we're going, and no complaints for me, honestly.
My only complaint is like it's all COVID related. Like, give me a live event.
100%.
If it's not safe to do, it's not safe to do. You can't do it. But like, as soon as it's safe to do, man, we're gonna hit it hard.
Where the F it is at. I am gonna be at that.
Yeah, I'm 100% on that one. I'm hoping
if it's in freaking United Kingdom, I will pay the grand on that plane ticket and I will go.
I mean, even if some of the matches or live events are just the people playing, there's no audience, which obviously would suck for people who wanted to go, but you'd still get that energy.
Feel that,
yeah,
like,
you get the energy of the players actually playing with each other.
That wasn't ridiculously far. That was the first thing that came to my mind. I said I would go, Reefton. I didn't say I wouldn't go. I said
Reefton, that's closer to you than we are now. So why are you complaining?
To be in the UK.
Why are you complaining, Reef?
To be fair, Germany's not in the UK. So
it's funny. There's some like cities that I'm like, I really hope they do one there. Like, I would love to see a normal, not Star Wars Chicago. I would love to do that.
It makes sense. I mean, that makes sense it's because Celebration was.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I think they'll always kind of be themed that way, though.
I
Yeah,
would.
like whatever Celebration is, they'll do.
Mhm.
I
And maybe
would-
like whatever happens in Florida, they'll do an event there. I don't know, something.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure Celebration's only gonna be either California or Florida from now on because of Galaxy's Edge.
That makes sense.
That makes
That
sense.
Makes sense.
I would kill for it to be in Boston and let all the big personalities of Boston
All the
come
Boston-
out. Roxy, Snyder, GT.
It needs to be Roxy versus Coy. Jeff Snyder needs to play, and someone else on the Coy needs to play because they're all Boston.
Red is on the deck.
I would die. I would die. I'd catch a Red Sox game while I'm there and then go to this and it would be amazing. Oh, for sure.
Maybe. We'll see.
Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know what I
there's a-
completely forgot about, and I am been looking forward to this. I don't know when it's going to happen, but
Yes.
Sam drafted Doug Benson, and he has not shown up and played yet, and I am so excited to see him play.
Yeah.
He knows and loves movies so hardcore.
Yeah, he has a movie podcast, doesn't he?
Yeah, Doug loves movies. And I've seen it live more than once, and it's amazing.
Wow. I would love.
Surprised you never
I think he's a
Might have been
liver.
busy, who knows? Yeah. I mean,
Probably.
with COVID, podcasters' time amped up, so maybe he was doing more shows. I mean, who knows?
Wherever
Okay, so-
the next one is, I think we're going. I'm still kicking myself for not going to the Atlanta one.
Me
but-
too. I get so much freaking FOMO from Atlanta.
I can't believe that
and-
was this year.
Yeah.
I know. And I would like them to go back to Texas so that way I can go to Whataburger.
They
And-
Yeah.
will 100% be doing the boxing ring.
Houston.
again. Yeah, they'll be doing Houston again for sure. They were supposed to do it this year, so they'll definitely that'll kind of be a staple.
I had tickets.
Yeah, sorry.
That's right. There was
Yeah,
that.
it'll definitely be a staple for.
I
this
forgot that that even had that was scheduled. That they were going back to that. Yeah, right. I've never been. I need to go. So,
I've never either. I had my plane tickets. I had
give
my
me
hotel.
one. Give me a Schmoedown in Vegas, please.
Oh my god.
Can you imagine the hot mess that would come?
People will die. People will die.
Literally.
People will wake up on this like Alan from The Hangover.
Oh
It'll be death.
Where's John Sullivan? I don't know. He was laying on the floor in the strip last time I saw him. I don't know where he is. I'm not responsible for him anymore.
I don't know how this would mess with the Star Wars Dragon Con trivia, but if the Schmoedown ever came to Dragon Con, just saying, that would be
Yes.
huge.
And okay.
You look, everyone's like, "Oh no, I don't think I can handle."
Hey, Vegas does have those hangover spots where they literally just put an IV in you and they rehydrate you.
Really?
Yeah,
I would also say
live.
this: Schmoedown is definitely coming to Canada very soon, guys. Just a matter of
100%.
time. It's
I'm
I
at
think it's
least by 2023.
yeah. I would. It's just figuring out the logistics of it all. is what's
yes,
happening.
Chuck.
So,
Oh my God, please.
You know how many times I have suggested a Bourbon Street Schmoedown and I have been
Oh.
turned down because no one wants to be responsible for the Schmoedown competitors when they go on Bourbon Street.
That is
Oh
true.
my God, yes.
That
Yeah,
is true.
I mean-
They can't be trusted on Bourbon Street.
Worst hangover I've ever had in my life.
I could cross off so many bucket lists: a crawfish boil and Texas
I will tell you this: you're not
Whataburger.
gonna get a genuine crawfish boil on Bourbon Street. You got to go
Oh, no,
to
no.
you got to go to like my dad's house. Like,
Yeah, we're going like to the swamp. And
swamp.
I'm gonna eat some alligators,
they're so good.
and then
So
we're gonna
good.
go to Canada, and
Protein.
the kid's gonna host. We're gonna have tons of maple syrup. I can't wait.
all right. So before we get out of here, I want to read these last couple few Streamlabs that have come through. Excuse
We're
me.
not that popular, Drake.
I know. I'm sorry. This one's from Kylie. This one is in all caps. Yes, I love this. Can't wait till Mel Kylie Kuiper again will distract you
Yes.
live 2021, expect a full show to go musical show of a certain point of view, working overtime. Get ready for the pure insanity of Streamlabs. I'm just getting warmed up.
Oh goodness.
We're planning a POV musical. It's going to be produced by Maxwell the God.
I think I'm going to have to create a specific tier for Kylie to see if she actually wants to do it for musical questions.
Oh God.
Because then we'll see how dedicated you actually are to these musical questions.
I mean, I'm always down for a good sing along. I never dislike Kylie's singing.
Yeah.
It helps with Molly. It keeps her improv going.
I know.
But we're also talking. We're talking about the live draft special stuff like that. That all that will be coming out very, very soon. We are doing it. We're just figuring out details, stuff like that. So just stay tuned for that. The next one comes from the Grey Goose Jedi. And he says, "Happy holidays, POV crew. Congrats on the nomination. Keep up the great work. # draft Jake." Thank you.
That's Gio.
Thank you, Gio. That is Gio. That's our co-host on Apocalypse. So thank you very much, Gio. And then the last one here comes from Rachel. Just celebrating how far we have come as a crew this year. Shout out to Brian Nussbaum and Leo Logan as pioneers of the View crew. Wishing everyone here a great 2021. Thank you, Rachel, for being our first mod, and to all of our mods as well. Thank you guys so much from all of us here. So, all right, guys. Well, any final thoughts on 2020 as we wrap up the year and move forward?
It's our last show of 2020.
Last show of 2020.
That's ridiculous.
You guys I cannot wait until next January. Oh, we've got so many good things planned for next year.
Brian, shut up. Shut up, Brian.
Brian,
Shut up, Brian.
Stop being excited about things.
I'm
Shut up, Brian.
I cannot wait.
We're so excited for Molly to study in January. That's
Oh,
what we're
God, that's
excited
right.
about.
She's coming for Laura so hard. She got herself a cabin so no one can bug her.
Yeah, I'm
And-
totally going to watch Star Wars in our cabin vacation.
Hey, I'm surprised you guys. I will say this. We have two things that have been planned. One is the unnamed, and the draft was the other one. I'm surprised you guys found out about the draft today, so I'm not going to push it and go for two.
I'm not going to push it.
Yeah. I can't, but it's going to be so good.
If anyone's feeling the beans, it's a hundo going to be Brian.
Yes. Okay. All right. To all of you Starburst patrons, you guys will be getting a link to a Zoom here very, very shortly for the after show hangout. So stay tuned for that. But for everyone here at POV, I also need to run through this real quick. And this isn't updated because we have had some adjustments over the last week or so. I just haven't got a chance to this. But thank you to our patrons, specifically the Starburst, Billy, Brandy, Rachel, Kylie, Ryko, Reeve, Tanya, Ricardo. I know that Jane is also a $20, and then I believe Jeff Clark just upgraded to a $20 as well.
Oh, you guys are the best.
And so thank you guys.
Everyone.
And to all of our patrons as well. Cannot do any of this without you guys. Stay tuned for a lot of cool stuff coming forward. January is going to be a kickoff for a new thing on the Patreon, and we're very excited about it. So, So with that said, Jill, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you online?
Jilly Marie, 2 Y's, 2 E's on Twitter and Instagram. Come start conversations with me while I usually tell you that you're dumb. Sometimes I'll tell you that you're dumb.
Brian?
But I love you, though.
She insults you, but she loves you.
I insult you, but I love you all the same.
Be a Volcino on Twitter and Instagram. Yeah, I know. I'm
Molly?
hiding my lip.
At Molly Damon on Twitter and Twitch. I will be streaming on Twitch again soon. Sometime soon. And Molly Mander on Instagram. And then me and Alex are over at Star Wars Explained talking a bunch of Star Wars BS and building a bunch of Legos. Oh, the Legos.
Oh, the Legos.
Our Lego streams are going to go for years and years.
Hey, that hanging from the ceiling is starting to look really good right about now.
Yep.
Thank you, Reefton. You can find me everywhere right there. You can find us on Twitter at Schmoedown POV right up there. If you guys are interested in our Patreon, right down there, all the links are in the description as well. And then, stay tuned, guys. I know that we're not doing too much during the week right now. Patrons, you guys will be getting stuff during the week as well. But once we get these matches, because it has been confirmed, 3 matches a week, so there'll be a lot more for us going forward. Stay tuned for all that. Again, thank you to everyone, and we will see you guys next week.